Ever wonder what it's like to live in a cozy New England cottage? Join us as we transform our simple ranch home into a comfy cottage. Each week, we work towards improving, maintaining, and beautifying our home and garden, all on a tight budget. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So, we are here this week for more Christmas decorating.
There's always more.
Yeah. So we're breaking it down into different areas of our house. Last week we had done the basement and the village, and we did a couple projects. This week we're upstairs in our house. So we have two floors. We have a finished basement and we have the main level. So we're doing the main level this week. And through the week, just so you know what's coming up after this, the week after that, right before Thanksgiving is our backyard, and then right after Thanksgiving is our front yard decor. Right. So, if you are new here, I'm Gina.
I'm Paul.
And we are Brambleberry Cottage. Welcome. And for those of you who've been here with us from the beginning, or even just recently, for however long, thank you so much for being with us and subscribing.
Yeah. If you do like this kind of content, please give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And if you could, and if you aren't already, please subscribe. I mean, it's a free thing that really helps support our channel. So we really appreciate it.
We do. Thank you so much. This week we are going to do some more decorating. We're very excited. There may be a project here and there thrown in, but most likely it's simple decorating. But we're very excited.
Yes.
And we're going to show what we're doing with our advent calendar. If you remember, if you've been with us for a while, we had an advent calendar that Paul had made. We're going to just change it up slightly, but we're keeping the main basic design of it, but we're just going to change it up slightly. So we have that coming and the decor, and we're very excited. So we hope you'll stick around and see what we come up with.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us.
So we're going to start in this room with the decorating, and I'm just going to do the before with the fall decor. Don't mind this over here. We set up a light because the lighting in here is terrible when we're doing a video. So I have it plugged in there. So normally that plug wouldn't be there, but we have, which I really loved this year, all the fall simple decor. And now this is going to change some of our new developments in this room. We found this rug, which we love. Someone had purchased it, had it for a week, and decided to get rid of it, and apparently missed a return window, which is a common thing on Marketplace, which I don't know. I never miss a return window if there's a chance to return it, but I'm thrilled. Because of that, we're able to snatch this up. So this rug, I believe she got it on Amazon. I don't remember what the original price was. I know it was over $100, but we had snagged it. A week later, well, she used it for a week. I think we ended up buying it off of her 2 weeks later. But anyway, we bought it off of her 2 weeks later for $45. So that was exciting. And it's an 8x10. It fits this room perfectly. We're very excited. This, if you remember, we always had and I shouldn't say we always had. We had it for quite a few years now from Amazon, this faux fur rug, and we like to put it right near the fireplace. We've had it downstairs as well, around that fireplace, but we've been bringing it up lately, past couple years. So that kind of layers it on there. But this particular rug we're very excited with, and it fits the room just great. If you remember our mishap with the coffee table, usually we love to do this wood technique. For some reason on this particular wood table is mostly wood, but the top is a faux wood, and it just wasn't taking well. So whatever that material was, it just was not doing a good job. And we couldn't do our usual technique we do with stain and paint and make it look like a really cool wood. We just did not fall in love with what was happening anyway, but also it was still very tacky and it just wasn't curing. So we had to clean it off, scrape it, sand it all down again, and we decided to just use our dark walnut stain on it. And it does have a slight tinge of an oranginess. Paul doesn't think so. I think it kind of does, but I really, really love it. And it is our little Pottery Barn dupe from a couple weeks ago, that video. We had to do it again, but I'm so glad how it turned out now. Sorry about the rickety camera, folks. We're all finished here with this project finally, and we have this new rug, and now we're going to tackle all of this decor, changing it to Christmas. We're very excited. This is my favorite time of the year. What will not be here yet is the Christmas tree. We are doing this weeks ahead of time, and I do get a real tree for up here. So we will not be doing that. We pick our tree usually the day after or 2 days after Thanksgiving. So because of that, we will not have the tree yet. But when we do, we will show you how it turned out. So right now, we're just going to do the rest of the decor. So let's decorate. So I've taken 2 faux garlands that we've had for a long time. They're probably a little worse for the wear. I don't know if this will be our last year with them, but I wanted this to be the base. And I'm going to add a Real Touch cedar garland that I had bought off Amazon weeks ago. So just to put over that. And that's how, sometimes we have it really full, sometimes we have it really thin, but this is what I wanted to do this year. But we still needed that base. You can just get a bunch of the Real Touch cedar garlands, but I really wanted to just stay within budget, and I really do personally like the mix of different greens. So I just layered those two and kind of, they're wired, so I kind of push them together and intertwine them slightly, and we had to fluff them out because they get really flat when they're in storage. So did that, and now I'm going to add the cedar garland. So far we have a couple layers of the faux greenery, the main garland, but then I have a third garland which is like half the size of that. It's a faux eucalyptus I've had for a long time that I'd gotten from Amazon, and took us a while because, so I had to shut this down for a little bit because we had a broken light, so I had to replace that, and now we've got the lights working. We wound the lights around, almost like around the whole garland, and then I had to fluff it out again. We hung some bells that I had ordered a long time ago. I do believe those were also from Amazon I'm gonna say maybe 4 years ago. They're still available. And now I'm just going to do some finishing touches. Don't mind the mess everywhere else. We're kind of getting ready to decorate here. So I ordered these a while ago, maybe a few years ago. I believe they were also on Amazon. They're bronze, and they're great because they just sit here like this, and I can place my stockings on them. And I think this year we're going to leave them like this. Last year I had placed them all together just to have them on the end, just like I did downstairs. And I just want to see, just deciding whether I want to do that. Which is fine, I really like that, but I think I want to go back to how we used to do it and just space them out accordingly. Yeah, and I think I'm going to leave it like that. I may change my mind, but for now, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now that we vacuumed up the debris and we have it where we want it, I'm going to add a few touches to this mantle. First, I'm going to start with the hearth. And I believe that is our finished mantle. There is a possibility I may add some elements here and there, like pine cones or some sort of velvet ribbon or something, but for now this is where I want it to be. So we bought these from the Dollar Tree last year, and they have like a wide opening here, and I have thin taper candles. I'm going with lighter colors, so I liked this lighter green for what my style is, but they don't fit right in here. We're gonna try the masking tape trick. We're gonna try it, but it might take a lot of it. Paul's going to wrap it around the candle a few times to make it a little bit thicker. and see if that works. If it doesn't, that doesn't work alone, we're going to also need some sort of a wax or hot glue. But it seems like it's working, so we'll see. And so there you have it. So that should work. If it feels like it's not going to hold up, I can put hot glue on the bottom, or maybe even museum wax to get it to stay. I don't have museum wax on hand, so I would have to purchase that, but I do have a glue gun and I can do that. I do have E6000 as well, and I can do that. But I'm just going to try it with just the masking tape. Just a few small touches here in the kitchen. The wreath we already had on the wall. We just added a few sprigs. Honestly, I really don't remember where I got it. I was genuinely surprised when I opened the Christmas box and I went, gee, where'd I get that? Sometimes it happens. I pick things up on Facebook Marketplace. I go to the Dollar Tree. All kinds of things. I'll go to different stores, craft stores. So I have no idea where I got those, but I really like it because it has a little bit of a shimmeriness. And it has just a festive feel. So I just kind of, with our wreath we already had, I just tucked in some festive sprigs. And this right here, I had this mix that I had gotten from Marshall's, oh gosh, maybe 5 years ago. And that was like a really great mix of really cool dried twirly branches. And it also had eucalyptus in it and whatnot. I put that in this vase that I'd grabbed a really long time ago from a tag sale, and I mean maybe 15 years ago. I love it. I had painted it white because it was like a rusty metal, so I painted it white many years ago, and I still like it. But I had put some holiday sprigs in it, and there are just some various things that I had. That little gift was the cutest thing. I had found that last year at the Dollar Tree. They did not have it this year. I was looking for more, but I thought that was really sweet. I'm hoping they still have them for other people because it is really a cute thing to have. And then I just hung a scarf that I already owned. It was a nice gray and red plaid, just a splash of red in it. And I had this red bell wreath that I've had for a long time. Honestly, I don't remember where I'd gotten it, but I really liked it. Up here on the top floor, our main floor of our house is mainly sage green and cream colors, but I did add some splashes of red here and there to connect what's going on downstairs and to have a little more of a festive-y feel, that red and green feel. But it is more muted up here than the video last week where we did the red and green. So this is more muted, but we did want to add some splashes to connect it. so the last one I had done, I decided to do a hot glue, as you saw me doing. I burned my fingers a bit. I really couldn't wear the little tips that I have for my fingers. If you've ever seen them, you can get them at Dollar Tree. They work for certain situations, but they were really getting in the way. They make your fingers fumble a bit, but also sometimes the heat really goes through it. It's a vicious thing, the hot glue gun. So I didn't want to attempt it again. So, and I wanted to do it differently. So because it was a little bit rough, it was my first time of doing it, it was a little lumpy, bumpy. So I started cutting shards of it and we're putting it on top, layering it on top. So, and then it kind of gave a cool effect. It started to look like a tree. So, which was cool. So like branches and whatnot. So this one I wanted it more smooth. I want to do something different with each one. So this is the extended one where I hot glued the extended piece. And I just wanted to show you. So what we had done is we had cut it nice and smooth, and then I had done the bottom first and kind of brought it up and then overlapped. So we use these push pins. It's kind of like a T-pin. So with this, when we brought this over here after we did the base, we kind of push this in just to hold, this here. I didn't want to use any glue as of yet. We might use some glue to kind of reinforce a bit, like a white glue, but I wanted to I don't want to have these little shards. We're going to try to clean this up a little bit, and I want it as smooth as possible. Any pieces we can trim if we have to, but I'm going to fold this over a little bit and try to straighten as much as possible. And I'm going to do a pin right there so that we can hold these little pieces here. And each time I do this, I'm going to make sure I smooth it out the best that I can. These are pins I just had on hand, but obviously you can find these push pins probably at a hardware store, Home Depot or something. So I just want to get the idea. So I'm just fiddling with it so I can get the idea of what I want to do and how I want to form this. There's always like an excess, so you have to be careful how to bring this over. A little bit imperfect, but it works. So I just wanted to get the idea, and then I can figure out where to trim later. But right now I want to focus on the top. I just want to smooth that out. So I have these little pins. These are more rounded. It's a little pin like that so you can see. I'm going to do that for here. So I don't necessarily want a push pin there. I'm going to smooth this out and kind of fold this over a little bit. And then I'll get that T-pin in there. So in doing this, on this part here, not this thick part here, but on the top, I realized it went right through. And we don't want that. We don't want a pin sticking out. So I am going to go and use another one of these small rounded pins here. Okay, so then we have this middle part. It's getting a little lumpy, but this is where we can trim a little bit. When I bring this over later, we know I'm going to leave a little bit give just in case, because I'm going to pull. But right here where it kind of did this little triangle here, I'm going to try to cut that up. Paul's going to hold it straight for me. You definitely want good scissors. Before I had my kitchen scissors, which weren't very sharp. So that just gives a little extra, and I can always trim it again. But you don't want to do it too much. I've done that before where you just did too much too soon. So I'm going to roll it slightly. Try to leave it as smooth as possible. And these I can use, these pins, because it's thicker on the bottom. Make sure you're pulling from both sides so you make it a little tight. So So with this here, before I double it, I'm going to do these rounded pins just because I really want to make sure they stay in place and don't keep bumping up. Just trying to make sure I have enough. And I think with this I'm going to double it a little bit and kind of roll it. I'd rather have extra than not enough. With this top here, I'm just going to cut just a bit. Not a lot. Just a teeny bit so it doesn't get too bumpy. And just kind of get it on the top there and kind of pull with you. And then we're going to angle it slightly with the T-pin to make sure it stays in. So you want to go kind of like at the bottom and then at the top, and then you can kind of meet in the middle, just because you want to make sure both the top and the bottom, it's nice and smooth. So now we have this nice smooth cone, and we have some pins on the back. I would say out of the two that I've done, this was my favorite because I was a lot more relaxed, because I didn't feel like I was going to burn myself with the hot glue gun, but also it was so much easier. There's a bit of pulling and tugging, and it's a little, you know, you see the pins here and it's a little odds in it, but that can be the back. But you have obviously a little bit of lumpiness, but I kind of like that. I think it looks natural, but it's, again, it's in the back. But we have a nice smooth Christmas tree. So now we have two different textures. So now we're going to work on the third one. So on the last cone, I wanted to do moss. I wanted to do it slightly different. So I'm going to use, it recommends on the package to use tacky glue instead of hot glue. And also on a styrofoam cone, it's very difficult with hot glue, and you can't really use pins on this. So I'm going to use white glue. It recommends tacky glue, but I don't have tacky glue. So I'm going to try the white glue and see how it turns out. I normally would paint underneath the green to match, but I'm okay with the white showing through because I figure maybe it'll look like snow. So I'm okay with hints of the white coming through. So we're going to kind of just glue it on with regular white glue and see how it works out. I'm going to do it in sections. What I'm worried about is I don't know if it's going to stay. It doesn't seem like it's staying, guys, so I don't think this is going to work out. Okay, so it recommends on the package to use tacky glue. I tried white glue, and because I didn't think I had any tacky glue on hand, but I do. So I'm going to use the tacky glue because the white glue did not work, and it doesn't recommend hot glue. We had to cut it because it's an older bottle of it, so I'm just kind of, I cut it open and I'm just spreading. So if this ever happens to you, it starts to dry up. It may be okay inside, and you can cut the package open and just spread it with a popsicle stick of some kind. Now this is the one I had cut, so it's a little bit shorter, but I'm hoping, but I'm hoping, I had picked up 3 packages of this moss. It's reindeer moss that you can find at the Dollar Tree. It comes in a package like this. I have 3 of these, so I'm hoping the 3 works. We're gonna find out. This tacky glue really sticks to everything, so be forewarned when you go to use it. But it's working great. There's no other glue I would recommend for this because this was a recommendation. I have to say it works really well. So I think 2 bags would probably be enough. I'm just tapping into my second bag now and I'm pretty much done. I imagine there will be a few spots that I want to touch up a little bit, but all in all, 2 should do it. I wanted this to be much more natural and a little bit wild, which I like. Makes it look very realistic that way. But I'm going to tame it somewhat. I really, really pack this in. But I will say, I don't mind that it's showing that it could show a little bit of white, and honestly, I'm not seeing it much come through. But I'm okay with it if it does a little bit, because it just reminds me of like snow. But you could, if you wanted to go that extra mile, you could just spray paint it green before you did this. And there you go, there's our third tree. So this is all set up here. We have the two with the blanket that I had done and that I cut up. Again, it was only $5 at Job Lot. These ornaments and the red velvet large ornament, all of those were from Dollar Tree. I had a basket that I had picked up for free on the side of the road one time. And then I have another cone here that's moss, that reindeer moss. And these pillows I had on hand, so I just decorated with that instead of investing in new ones. But I think soon I'll probably invest in some other ones, but for now it works. This is the kitchen window area.
So we've given a lot of thought on what finish we want to put on this window frame. We've decided to paint it black after we give it a good cleaning.
So I grabbed this little bag at the Dollar Tree of 32 pieces of these tiny little bells. They're not the tiniest ones. There's 3 sizes at the Dollar Tree of these bells. There's a real teeny tiny, there's a small but like a level up, and then there's really large bells. I got the small, but they're not teeny tiny ones, and it's like 32 in a bag from the Dollar Tree. And these, they come with the ornaments you get from Dollar Tree, these little gold threads. They're completely useless to hang an ornament, but they work out great, so I save them. So I'm going to tie the bells onto that. I'm going to tie a knot and try to leave a little bit of it hanging, so I don't want to tie the knot all the way down. All right, now that is going to tie on this ribbon. So I'm going to put this through the loop and just tie that one, so now we have this left. So now we're going to take this ribbon and tie it around this first loop here on the wreath. Then you'll have that. Now I'm just going to make a very simple bow. I'm not getting fancy with the bows. You can if you want. I just choose the more simple because it's easier to do. And frankly, I like the simple. So I found this blanket on Facebook Marketplace and decided to switch it from the old to the new. This particular blanket, I can see now why they sold it, because it was fairly new. It sheds a bit, but it's really pretty, and it'll just be for decoration. It's going to be, well, maybe I'll snuggle with it, I don't know, but mainly it'll be for decoration, but it'll be a big cleanup if it's used. But anyway, this was the couch before. It stayed the same. I liked the green pillows, doing that cream and sage for the Christmas season, and I just added this. What's great about it is it matches the one here layered on top of this rug. It's just a small rug on top of the other rug for the fireplace. So it matches it, but what I want to do is with this rug, I don't want to just layer it, I want it to overlap it slightly. So I'm going to place it and more in front of the fireplace, but just to hide that hard line. I just wanted to give that tip. Sometimes doing that, it just gives it a softer line. It just makes it a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Our decor is ready to go, minus our Christmas tree. So we still have our Christmas tree, and hopefully you can't tell that we need to vacuum. Bringing all those totes up, and you have glitter and, oh gosh, all kinds of things. Red berries with things. I'm sorry, I'm bumping into everything. So this is daytime now, so I will show it certainly during the night. And here on the coffee table, I just have all of our Christmas books that the kids have had since they were little. And yes, sometimes we still read them. They're here in the basket, this lovely basket I got many years ago. I can't remember where. I want to say maybe Target. More I think about it, it might have been Home Goods. But anyway, the basket there, and a candle I had grabbed, gosh, I think Marshall's many years ago. It's a cute red candle. It says Jingle Bells on it, the Ray Den style. And then I had little pieces of sprigs that look like mistletoe. And then I have some little mini bells in there. And again, the books. So it just gave a simple little vignette on the coffee table. I might add or subtract as time goes on, but that's what I have for now. And a lovely table that came out so lovely the second time around. But yeah, I just wanted to mainly show you the room, how it turned out, but also this blanket that I found in Marketplace. We found it for $10 on Marketplace. It is very luxurious. It is very fluffy. It is a faux fur. It's just so elegant and luxurious, but it does shed. But I love it. So, and what's great about it is it matches. This rug here, I absolutely love it. I love the colors. I love everything about it. And it's a great size for this room. We've been wanting to find a rug for a while on Marketplace, and there were no pets, no smokers. Those are the two questions, just so you know, I always ask. I do have allergies to certain pets, and I absolutely don't want fur all over the place from someone else's pet. I obviously don't want smokers because that can change everything. It can change the color, it can stain, it can have an odor to it. It's not something you want. So you definitely need to ask those questions, and don't be afraid to check it and stand there for a second and really make sure you do the sniff test and you take a look, roll it out, do whatever you need to do to test things. But this worked out really great. So there you go. And by the way, it's a trusted seller that had 5 stars, or I think it was 4.9 stars, and wonderful reviews. So you really want to stick to people like that. And we deal with everything in cash. So there it is, folks. Happy holidays. The blanket that was on the couch before I changed it out with this fur one, I just put it on this chair and changed that blanket out. Not sure how I like it with the two contrasts with the pillow, but I think it definitely adds a little festiveness. And what I like about these mildly bluish grayish toned pillows is it matches the curtains. I didn't want to change the curtains, even though they're not really totally in season, but I really like how it works in this room. And I just wanted to show you how just changing out sometimes a texture or a blanket or pillow, whatever it may be, can change the whole look of the room and the feel of it, especially for different holidays. I switched the other blanket that was on our side chair in the living room to this bench. I didn't want to add a new cushion down here, mainly because of budget. I wanted to do this for as cheaply as possible. I did not find one on Marketplace, and honestly, I'd rather buy that kind of thing brand new, unless it was someone I knew. So when there's fabric involved and cushioning involved, you have to be really careful. So you don't know how clean it is or whatnot. So with this, I would have loved a cushion here for more comfort, but they are very, very expensive. Even the so-called inexpensive ones were really close to $40, and really it's just too much. So I added this blanket and these pillows here, and it just gave it a nice homey touch. And what's great is it's in a kitchen, but it just makes it feel so comfy and cozy. I'm in between designs for the tabletop, so we're gonna see how that all turns out. The only thing I really regret about this, and I'm glad, security is really important, folks, but when they have these things in the windows, it really takes up the view and ruins when you have something there, ruins the design of things. So don't mind that big blue sticker. Security's important, but a little frustrating when it's in a window with your decor. But anyway, there it is.
Now that I've taken the top off, I'm just going to touch up the paint where the top was attached. And I'll also paint all the rest of it white. Give it another fresh coat of white to spruce it up.